Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's go together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, it is Tuesday the 16th of September. The markets just closed. There's been a lot going on in the news, a lot of sad news, a lot of hardships around the world, and a lot of injustice. And despite all of that, we need to look past the media and what we're being pumped by the financial market news outlets, and let's just focus on the data. So let's get right to it. Start things off with triple Qs. All right, we can see triple Qs made all-time highs today. All right, you can see that. I'm going to extend this long-term trend line that I drew here. It still remains a resistance to the top side, so I'll slide this over. And let's revisit our prediction. My last prediction, in fact, for a while now, since way back here with all the sharks, is that the bearish divergence continues. I'm going to take a look here at the RSI. You can see that you can extend this over here like this. So just even greater divergence. Let's add another shark. My overall direction remains unchanged for triple Qs. It is and has been for a long time to the downside. It's just, all this movement here is meant to pull people in. So I'm going to put another shark over here. Sharks still want to get out. Today's price action. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the weekly. I want to take a look at overall volume over the past few weeks. All right, so we can see that from, what's this date here, middle of April, there's been a lot of buying, okay, a lot of buying. Now, apart from this 1 week here, which is 7 April, how do the other weeks compare? Here, I'm sliding the price up higher so we can get a better view of the volume candles down here, okay, from a weekly perspective. We can kind of see, when is this? This is early 2022, okay, so that's about 3 years ago. You can see there's more volume overall here, but as we move towards the right, volume seems to be decreasing, except for this 1 week here, which is the middle of April. All of this price action along this time frame since 22, with waning volume, the price has been going up. So really the biggest players in the market haven't really joined in. You can see some tremendous buying here. Grant that. That's, let's see here, on this 1 week, 673 million shares on the buy side. But then you can see all this selling here. So it kind of negates it. And then the price action kept moving upward with lower and lower volume, except for this mid-April, early April week. Okay. There is, I'll call it kind of even purchasing here, but nothing super volatile to the upside. So my prediction remains unchanged. Triple Qs is still setting up for much lower prices. I'm going to slide all of my annotations to the right. Here, let's clean this up a little bit so that we can see it more clearly. There you go. I'll just slide this guy over to the right. Actually slide it downward also. All right. Actually, that's just re-annotated. Slide this over. Okay. So let's just probably do something like this. Bounce it, get underneath, come back up, retest this trend line from underneath, and then continue. There is this gap fill here. Let's kind of slide this over, and this one as well. You You can also see the 200-day moving average right here. Okay, so perhaps it will bounce or do one of these things. Okay, bounce off the 200-day before going lower. And then this one as well. I slide this to the right. There. Okay, so there you have it. So further low prices for triple Qs still. And actually, I'll make this blue to be consistent with my other annotations. There you go. 200 days in blue. Okay, so it's not the time to buy. Don't buy into triple Qs. The risk reward, it's more to the downside. Next up, let's take a look at GDX. This is the gold miners play. I circled here the price action as well as the RSI down here. I think it's really going to an extreme level, and I think this is all meant to get people to buy in, only for the sharks to dump. So even though the RSI doesn't show bearish divergence, the way that the price is moving makes me believe that that move is coming for GDX for gold. Today's engulfing candle, here's the red engulfing candle, meaning from a size standpoint, the price action today opened up and closed outside of the boundary of yesterday's open and close. You can see that today's candle encompasses all of yesterday's price action, and it's below it on the close. So you can see likely the next move for GDX is to retest this trend line here. Just slide it over, and it may bounce. So it'll do a small bounce here. We expect that before it fails. Okay, so that's just part of the price action movement. I'm going to annotate a little bit. Maybe I won't use those blue ones anymore. I'll just go like this. So probably do something like this, bounce off of it, attempt to retest the high again, fail, come back, retest the trend line from underneath before it continues downward. Okay, so that's kind of the price action. My light finally turned on. Give me a second here. All right, so there you have it for GDX. Let's switch to strategy. This is the Bitcoin play. Let's zoom out a little bit, kind of give us a feel for where price has been moving. You can see my annotations have been to the downside, and then using this as support to bounce back up to the 200-day or even up to this horizontal trend line here, a horizontal price point of 363. Let's just delete a few things so it's a little bit clearer to see. And the reason why I said that was I felt the price would be moving back up, possibly using this as support down here. Okay, I said, hey, that might be support. And the reason for that is due to this bullishness here. So there's some bullishness here. Let's annotate this with the whale right here. All right, we'll put a whale here to say that I see price moving upward due to this bullishness here. And has it done that with conviction? It really hasn't. I'm not changing the overall direction. I still think it'll come up, perhaps retest the 200-day here. Let's put that. There's the 200-day in blue. It may test the 200-day from underneath and then continue its move to the downside. Okay, like that. So this move here, this divergence that's built here, you can see here, is a momentary divergence, momentary move. It's not a big move. The big move is a result of here, this divergence up here. So price moved upward, divergence on the RSI is downward. This is the major momentum play. This is a minor momentum play. So I think it'll only come back at maximum to this 364-ish range. Okay. Ultimately, you can see my annotations for it to go down. Okay. Those are my arrows. Let's switch over to Bill's company, Microsoft. This was interesting. You can see all the shark signals here to get out of the trade. They're taking profit. I did note on the RSI here that the RSI was moving in conjunction with price. And then I annotated with this gap fill, and indeed the gap fill took place. And then look at what happened yesterday and today. Price came back, okay, hit the bottom edge of the gap, respected the gap, the bottom edge of the gap, and stopped there yesterday. Then today failed underneath it, so it closed down here. So you got to remember that gap fills, especially big gaps, there is memory from an algorithm standpoint. They remember these price points, the entry and the exit. So that's how price behaved today. So the big move remains to the downside. You can see it here. Okay, I did it in blue. Still to the downside. I'll switch it to the drawing. I still think it's to the downside. They're going to test the 200-day, likely. Slide the 200-day over. Okay, overall to the downside. I'll just kind of move this price thing up a little bit, just to give you a feel for how big of a move it would be from where we are, from the gap here, which is the gap exit, because the gap started up here, okay? So it was on earnings. Remember, earnings was over here. The big red candle was price opened up here the day after earnings, because Microsoft, beat earnings by quite a lot. And so they opened the day up here, sold it down. Everybody was excited. Everybody and their brother bought in. And when they bought in, the sharks sold. So that's how they make their money. They sold all the way down to right here. So that's the start of the gap. That's the gap that was caused by that, the earnings euphoria. Okay. So there you have it. Again, this is not the time to go long on Microsoft. Protect your profits and close your trades, take some profits. Let's go to Elon's company, Tesla. Zoom out a bit. The price action on this one has been a little bit wild. My last momentum indication was over here, back in middle of May, Middle of May, sharks told one another to get out. Hence the RSI here, okay, bearish. Since then, the price action has been consolidating, okay? You can say it's been consolidating here. So it's not moving wildly up or down, except for all this selling here. Let's look at the volume there. You can even see the volume candle here. So this volume candle, 292 million in a day. So that's when Elon made his money. Elon and the sharks took profit. Everybody else was buying in. And then price consolidated, okay? Consolidated. And then you can see a breakout, okay? Broke above this trend line here. See the breakout. And this is just how price action works. Look, price consolidated. Okay, it's this triangle here. I'll kind of annotate it like this and like this. You can see that, okay? That isosceles triangle. You can see the price breakout here. It broke out. People got excited, wanted to buy in. They sold. Price down to the bottom of the trend line, and use that as support. So that always happens. Price breaks out, comes back down, touches the trend line. That's your entry point. If we were setting up for a long, I would have told you that. But this was not a setup for a long. And then price has come back up and hit this trend line up here as resistance. It's been doing that for a while, only to finally bust through in the past few days above it. What is peculiar to me is there is no bullish divergence. I look for divergence. in the RSI. You know that. I don't see it anywhere here. So to me, this is all manipulation by the sharks. They're trying to get more euphoria in so that they can sell again. So my suggestion remains unchanged. The direction remains unchanged. It's to the downside. And I do admit that, oh, let me correct this a little bit. I deleted the wrong item. I want to delete the blue. There you go. The blue one here. So you could argue and say, hey, John, your bearishness on this trade perhaps made you miss out on a 30% move. Okay, so my analysis, my thesis, missed out on a 30% move. Fine. If you got that 30% move because you were in the trade, good for you. It's just from a risk reward standpoint, it was not an objective long. All indications to me, it's the right time to find the short setup. So I'm going to annotate a bit more. Let's use yesterday and today's price point as an upper bound. Okay, so I'm just kind of free flow this. Take a look at where the lines hit. So let's draw this. Make this a black line just so that it's clearer to see. And I'm going to zoom out a bit for us. Okay, so this is the upper bound. Okay, I'm doing that based on the volume here. A bit of volume there. I'm going to extend this. And let's see how many touches we have. Okay, so over here with the shark, the top of the green candle, all the way over here. Okay, that's a legit line. Check this out. It's pretty legit. So this line has touches here, here, again here. Okay, the reason why I talk about these touch points is that it helps to validate a thesis of a trend line. So this is a legitimate trend line, respected multiple times. Let's go move over here some. Yeah, definitely right here where the shark is, I respected it. And then we're at it again today. So for those of you with euphoria and you want to take a long here, I do not recommend it. What I do see happening is they're going to push the price above it the next couple of days. So price will get above it. Okay. But I would advise against a long. I'm not a qualified investment advisor. I'm not a stockbroker or anything like that. I'm just a guy with opinions. And my opinion is they'll push it through, bounce it around up here for a few days to really get people excited, and then they'll gap it down for further selling. And the reason for that is this trend line, it's a legitimate trend line, and price has been, in the recent past, failing at it. You know, when price came down here, and then boom, all this selling, okay? It lost its strength to be a floor for price to bounce off of. Instead, it's been resistance, okay? Prices came back, hit it as resistance, failed, coming back, retest again. What they'll do is they will bounce it above a bit before they fail it, in which case it will cause over here, you'll see the bearishness come in. Okay, it just hasn't shown up yet. All right, so if I were to take a trade, I would take a short, and I would do it right here. So let's make the annotation right underneath here. So when price fails, underneath there, right here, this would be a good short entry. And likely there will be a shark here, okay? It'll show up. And that'll be a short entry for a target. So the target would be to, oops, sorry. Okay. Target would be this trend line here. I'm trying to, For some reason I'm still annotating, even though I already clicked off of the pen. I'm attempting to, yeah, that's weird. I'm attempting, that's, okay. So I'm attempting to grab this line here. There. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit darker for us. I'm going to extend it. Let's extend it like that. Okay, so it's going to do this. So the next play would be a short here, underneath this trend line. Price will likely come down. Probably not right away, straight down like this, but the point is it's a downward move. I think some of you are pretty literal, so I'm going to just kind of, I don't want you to be literal. People skip my videos, they don't watch the whole thing. Often you guys just scroll to the part that you want to watch and you just watch 10 seconds or 15 seconds. I mean, unless you understand what I'm saying, I advise you to at least try to listen to my annotations, my suggestions. Price will come down, and then eventually it will retest this, okay, from underneath, like this. Okay. Anyway, the play is to the short side. The sharks are going to be getting out. Let's clean this up a little bit. So from where we are now, right, the price action will be up here. So back to this support line, it's about a 26% move down, okay? So I'm going to wait for the entry short over here. Let's go to Palantir. And similar to the other ticker we were looking at, I think it was the Microsoft ticker. Yeah, it was the Microsoft ticker. How price was moving within or respecting the gap fill area. You can see that the same thing is happening for Palantir. Okay, the gap that was annotated here in yellow was already filled here on this day. This is the 19th of August. Price has only come back and is now hitting this edge. Okay. Overall, the annotation, the direction hasn't changed for me. The main move was here. Okay. This rising wedge right here, this is a rising wedge with, you could call this a island topping pattern here. Price gapped up, people jumped in for the long, and then of course, what do? They sold it down. That's what the sharks do. Sold it down, and they trapped everybody. Now there are a few people, attempting to get back in, but the next move is to the downside. So yeah, no change in Palantir. I mean, the 200 days right here. Just slide that over a bit. But overall, the risk reward is to the downside with the sharks. That's what they're doing. Move with the sharks. That's how you protect your money. Switching to Northrop Grumman. For a few weeks now, I talked about this red line here as resistance. It still remains resistance. Look at this. I'll just slide this over. Still is resistance, but just the time frame is sliding to the right. That's just how price is. Okay, so don't take my annotations as literal moves within days. It's the general direction. It's all about risk reward. So right now, this momentum indicator here, bearish. I put the sharks here to really remind you that the sharks are telling one another to get out. So right now, this is not the time to go long. Take your profits for this ticker. And then wait. Wait for perhaps an entry long down here on the purple trend line. Okay, but for now, it's a short. I'm looking here because my dog is bringing a toy over here. Okay, let's switch to General Motors. All right, you can see this rising wedge pattern here. My annotations depicting that price would likely come up above, bounce around to fail. And look, it did all of that. Additionally, I'm going to extend this just to prove a point. Additionally, you can see that this line, just make it thick for you, just for this one point. This thick line, okay, I'll make it thin again, is a line of resistance. And it's been resistance for a while. So once price failed right here, broke down underneath it, came back to retest, attempted the past couple of days to break through this resistance, and it hasn't been able to. So 3 days of attempts. Overall, the price action will be to the downside. So just, if you're long GM, take your profits, okay? And if you're wanting to trade with the sharks, then they're shorting, they are selling underneath this trend line, okay? So the volume candles down here to the sell side will increase. So you'll see some bigger red candles for selling, more volume on the sell side. GM, okay. Abercrombie and Fitch, this is moving as I expected. This main bearishness here, momentum move here, is the majority of the move, okay, is to the downside. This small momentum to the upside is this move here, okay? Not a huge move. And then you can see the selling resumed. I put this annotation here as resistance. It still is resistance. I'll just slide it over. Overall, the movement is to the downside. You can see that. Really no change in my annotations. This is out of the picture now. I'll just kind of clean things up. It's just to the downside. So here, I'll just go like this. Okay. Still to the downside. Even, you see how how the action here is waning on volume, but there's no bullishness here. I don't see any bullishness to say that at this point, this 86 zone will be support. I think it won't really be support. So further low prices for this retailer, okay, Abercrombie and Fitch. Switching to one of the few long entries. I've been talking about this for a while. This one still remains a good entry long. And I'm calling it. I've been calling it for a while. I've been calling it since back here with this whale over here to say, hey, the whales are getting back in. They want to go long on this, okay? So let's see, when is earnings? Is it tomorrow? Yeah, Wednesday's is earnings. So yeah, I'm in this long. It's a long trade. My exit is up here, 65-ish. How big of a move is that from where we are now? All right, it's about a 30% move, okay? So if you're not in the trade yet, I mean, you still have an opportunity. You can see that this is all sideways action, building more and more momentum to the upside. Look at this, okay? Price on a descending wedge right here with rising bullishness, bullish, meaning wanting to buy up. You can see that price broke through here, broke through this upper part of the triangle, broke through, came back, retested down here. That's normal price action. You expect that. I put this green annotation here to say that would be a beautiful long entry. So if you got an entry there, great. And now you just wait. Just let the price and the movement come to you, okay? It will come. And good luck with this one. That's one of the few long ones. The other long one I've been talking about is UPS. Same setup. All this bullishness here. More bullishness here. You can see I put the whale here, let you guys know. I'm telling you it's a long. I'm in this trade long. So we're going to play it up to the 200-day, okay, minimally to the 200-day, and then we'll reassess. That will help confirm. That will coincide with the gap fill. I'm just going to slide these things to the right. Okay, there you go. This is still a good long entry, okay, because it's along this trend line. All right, so that's it for this week's tickers. Not many long ones. Give me a comment. What do you want me to analyze? What do you want me to give my opinions about? And I'll replace, one of the other tickers which perhaps you aren't viewing as much. If you want more long ideas, let me know. Just say, hey, give me a long idea. Because right now, most of the setups are to the short side. And not everybody has the right type of account or the right risk-reward tolerance to do shorts. And perhaps your broker won't even let you short. Or if you have a question on how to play a stock to the downside, if you don't have if your broker is preventing you from shorting, what's another option? Put a comment, ask me the question, and I'll take a few moments to help share my experience and knowledge. All right, give me a thumbs up, share my content with your friends and family, and as always, good luck with your trades.